Jack Richards, who is going to be sworn in as Animal Control Officer. And we also have Ryan Branch, who's going to be sworn in as a detective. And as a retired detective myself, I'm very proud to be here to see this happen because good luck to you. Thanks. So, Dan?
So let me come over here so we can swear each of you in. I'd love to say three great individuals. I know each of them personally. They're great choices for these positions. So that being said, raise your right hand. I state your name. Residing at, put your address. Everybody's in Long Beach? In the city of? Okay. State of New York. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, the Charter and Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of, according to the best of my abilities. Congratulations. There's some paperwork for you guys to sign. Congratulations. I need you guys to sign some stuff here.
All right, guys, we'll get a quick picture. Congratulations, everybody. You guys come on in the middle. We're going to get a quick picture of just the three of them, and then we'll get every member of the PD for our a group shot for the PD. Are you guys ready? All right, all PD members. Auxiliary, you too. Sworn and civilian, everybody. You too, Jake. Congratulations, everybody.
We care more about people's time.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a meeting of the Council of the City of Long Beach held Tuesday, June 2nd at 7 p.m.
I don't know if is that working? Can you hear it? Okay.
We'll have a roll call. Councilmember Johnson? Here. Councilmember Ennis?
Here.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Here.
Vice President Fiamara?
Not here.
Absent. President Finn?
Here, present.
Let the record indicate the presence of City Manager Dan Creighton and Corporation Counsel Greg Kalnitsky. We will now have a salute to the flag.
Can we have Dennis Verzi lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? You can do it right from there. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Got a good crowd here tonight. Welcome, everybody, to our first meeting of June. It's good to see everybody come out and participate in Long Beach democracy. And we'll get on with Dan Creighton's City Manager's report, please.
Okay, thank you, Brendan. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for coming out again tonight. At least the weather finally is turning around. Looks like it's going to be, hopefully, a great summer. So I want to start by acknowledging our Department of Public Works for a job well done on some recently completed projects. The repaving of Park Avenue between Grand and New York was much needed and came out beautifully. We also repaved National Boulevard leading up to the boat ramp, which I'm pleased to announce is officially open again. I know there's still a lot of roads to go, but they are actively advancing projects to improve the city, and we're working towards the goal of getting everything done eventually. Lastly, they completed work on installing new HVAC systems at both the Magnolia Center and the Indiana Firehouse. Due to the good work of our team, these projects came in hundreds of thousands of dollars under the budget and original estimates. So great job, guys. DPW is also working to finish up the residential water meter replacement program. They're currently sending out final notices to those households that have still not made an appointment to have their water meter replaced. I will state again that the technology of the older meters is not supported by the new system, so replacement is mandatory. It's not an option. There is no opt-out, and those that do not replace their water meters will face higher bills through surcharges. Whatever additional cost it costs us, we will pass along, and additional fees if necessary, and bear the cost of the full meter replacement when the current one fails. So we do have a contractor on board now until July 31st, but once that contract is over, the full cost of the replacement of the meter will fall on the homeowner. So if you want it to be paid for by the city, that you need to get that meter replaced before July 31st. So the deadline for making the appointment, as I mentioned, July 31st, so please follow through today by visiting longbeachny.gov/water meters to make your appointment. I really would appreciate it if people get it done because it will result in higher costs, and we're trying to avoid that. I would personally like to again thank the leadership of DPW as they have been actively managing many designs and projects, saving our residents, as I mentioned earlier, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So thank you very much. Everyone should know that we really have the next level of professionals in these positions right now. We haven't seen this in quite a while. These guys are really talented, and I appreciate everything that they do. Lastly, I want to thank Joe Miller for his service as fire commissioner. He recently announced that he will be stepping down this Thursday. Commissioner Miller has been with the department for more than 30 years, following in the footsteps of both his father and his grandfather, who also served in the department. Commissioner Miller put his heart and soul into the job, and we're a safer community because of his service. So I'd like to personally thank Commissioner Miller for a job well done. He has also advanced the fire department contract. We are hoping that we are nearly there after, I believe, 17 years of not having a contract. So, again, thank you, Commissioner Miller. And with that, due to our lengthy agenda, Brendan, I'll conclude my city manager's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. And yes, let's hear it for Joe Miller. He did a nice job here. Thanks for his service. And now we'll get on to the meeting.
Our first public hearing tonight is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, re sale or discharge of fireworks, firearms, and other.
So
Actually, I'd like to make a motion to introduce item number 15 to the agenda, a resolution that the Corporation Council will explain.
There's taxi cab legislation right now intending to alter the price, and what we did, and it's an upcoming public hearing, is it says going forward that the City Council can set the rates by resolution. What President Finn is making a motion to add on here is a resolution that actually fixes the fees, and basically it raises everything by $2 as the taxi cabs companies requested.
Okay.
Who will second?
I will.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yeah.
President Finn?
Yes?
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt there.
Sorry about that. All right, so the first item is a public hearing to amend the Code of Ordinances related to the prohibition of the sale of or discharge of fireworks, firearms, and other explosives. The amendment would increase the maximum fine to $15,000 from $250. There is a Scribner's error here in that the area that's listed in italics should have been stricken and replaced with what is presented in bold. So typically you cross it out and then you put what you're adding in bold. For some reason we did it wrong. We italicized it rather than crossed it out. So just note that what is in italics are what we're removing. The sale or discharge of fireworks, firearms, and explosives is obviously a very serious public safety concern, and we feel the repercussions for violating this section should match the gravity of the offense. So I do have Commissioner DePalma here if there's any questions you have regarding this item.
All right. Do we have questions from the council?
Just comment, really, it's, one of the top complaints that we receive here at City Hall is certainly fireworks. And this, with this public hearing and with this resolution, we intend to put the penalty higher on people that sell and illegally discharge these fireworks. And, as a parent of teenagers, all you have to do is go to YouTube and look at some of the horrible, horrible accidents that are posted. Why they're posted, don't ask me, of, kids blowing up fingers, blowing up hands, hurting people, hurting their friends, hurting their families. So just wanted to give a little of the background on how strongly we all feel about this. And as I mentioned, so many residents feel this way as well.
Could I just add a note to that as well? These are outlawed, but obviously if fireworks result in not just the abuser blowing their hand off, but an innocent bystander, obviously these could be upgraded to felony charges as well. No? Sorry about that. Better? Obviously, if this results in bodily harm to an innocent bystander by setting off fireworks, that could result in a felony or possibly even, hate to say it, a murder charge, correct?
Correct, yeah, they would be charged with a penal law violation if there was an injury.
Tracy?
Well, obviously, we all know, most of us that are parents, pet owners, is on. Most of us are, parents, pet owners, taking care of elderly. These large mortars are going off all hours of the night, so it also, besides the felony charges and the danger, it's a quality of life issue as well, I think.
Yep, right. Absolutely. I agree with all three statements. We have comments from the public. Yes.
Eileen Hessian, thank you. I forgot we were allowed to speak at hearings. I'm wondering about enforcement. How will this be enforced? Like on weekends and the 4th of July, the crowds on the beach with fireworks?
We'll have extra patrols out there from the police department, especially around the area, around 4th of July. We do that, we do that every year. And we are seeing more and more complaints and more fireworks lately, which is why we want to increase these fees. And it's just a lot easier to purchase fireworks now than it has been in the past. In my youth, you'd have to go into a bad neighborhood, Chinatown or somewhere else, and try to find fireworks to buy. Now you can just buy these things online. So it's gotten a lot more, it's become a bigger problem than it was.
Okay. It will be a difficult job to get all those.
Also,
We're gonna do our best.
much larger fireworks available now than they used to be. So, they're larger, much more dangerous.
Okay, any other comments, questions from the public? All right, thank you. We'll close that then.
Our next public hearing is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, re bicycles, and electric scooters.
So this item is also a public hearing. This one amends the Code of Ordinances, updating it to add language governing the usage of e-bikes, e-scooters, and motorized scooters. I will note Nassau County has passed legislation prohibiting Class 2 and 3 e-bikes, so this update speaks primarily to Class 1 vehicles. As we know, certain sections of the code are dated, and these newer forms of transportation were not previously considered or addressed. In addition, this resolution would update the code with respect to where bicycles, e-bikes, and the such can be locked up to ensure they don't create an obstruction. Most notably, this update prohibits affixing one's vehicle to boardwalk ramps and walkovers, as well as the southern rail of the boardwalk. But it allows for temporary locking up on the northern rail portion, and does not, as long as it does not create an obstruction. This is a common sense update that largely reflects our residents' customary utilization of the boardwalk with their bikes, while also allowing our residents and visitors unobstructed access to the boardwalk and the beach. Commissioner DePalma is still here to address any questions you may have.
Mike?
So, we led with the fireworks as one of the top 3 complaints in Long Beach. I would say the number 1 complaint, with an arrow, is e-bikes on the boardwalk.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
We are flooded with them, yeah.
So, how many complaints do you have any?
Hundreds, thousands, yeah. We get, easy to say, yeah. I get emails, phone calls, constant complaints about e-bikes.
Thousands, okay. Wow. Obviously, there are people that can ride e-bikes responsibly, but unfortunately what usually happens when ordinances and resolutions like this get passed is that there are a large sum of people that do not obey the rules and are putting lives in danger. We had a death last year
That is correct.
with an e-bike.
Correct, yeah.
Right. One of the problems is, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's not only the speed, it's the weight of the bikes.
Yes.
So any collisions are that much more forceful and dangerous.
This is true.
And again, as I have a large teenage friend group from my son and my daughter, the proliferation of e-bikes has exploded in the last year or two, which has made everything a lot more dangerous, I would say.
I agree 100%. We're seeing a lot more e-bikes today than ever. They're being manufactured and sold at huge rates, and we're seeing them all over the place. I'm sure everyone here can agree with that.
Right. So I know we always have the question, I know it's a difficult task, but how do we enforce it on the boardwalk?
Education is the primary, and then enforcement. We have officers assigned to the boardwalk that just started recently that'll be up there every night, enforcing not only e-bike regulations, but other regulations as well. Our summer specials have started on the weekends now for the season, so they'll be up there enforcing this as well. We'll be having checkpoints at various times in various areas on the boardwalk, and we're also, hoping that people, see our social media and see our education and stop, without being, not just solely relying on enforcement.
I have to say, I like that sign on New York Avenue. That's unequivocal,
It's pretty big.
Yeah, right?
I'm good. Thanks, Rich.
Questions over there?
Just a question about somebody who's handicapped and they say they need the scooter or something motorized on the boardwalk. Is there a solution for those people? And
So if it's a motorized scooter, they would be exempt if it's for mobility. If it's an
Okay.
actual e-bike, it's not exempt.
okay, thank you.
A quick question, similar to the last one. If an illegal e-bike strikes somebody and hurts them, or God forbid, kills them, are they under the same legal scrutiny or laws as if a motor vehicle hits somebody or hurts somebody?
Well, yes and no. Right now, New York State doesn't require you to insure an e-bike or register an e-bike, so you don't have protection of insurance if you're hit by an e-bike. So it is an issue. So they are bigger, and they do go very fast. So injury, you have a greater chance of being seriously injured. And so there are some. Part of the reason why we're interested in codifying these laws is because of the the inability of people to be compensated if they get hit or hurt by an e-bike.
Can I ask a question?
Thanks, Richard.
Yes.
I just have a quick question. This is purely for purposes of establishing a hearing record. In your professional experience, is it necessary to restrict the use of e-bikes and related, vehicles on the boardwalk for purposes of public safety?
Yes.
Why?
Because the boardwalk, it's a popular place. It's an area, we have a lot of pedestrians, we have a lot of children, we have a lot of women up there, women and children, we have, elderly people, and it's, in the summertime, there's just a great amount of people in a small area, and there's no way to escape, basically. If there's an e-bike going at a fast speed, there's less of an opportunity for people to get out of the way, and it's just a dangerous
And
situation.
you've observed that personally yourself?
I have, yeah.
And could you have a guess, maybe in like the last year, of how many complaints the police department has received about this issue?
Like I said before, hundreds, probably thousands, yeah.
The only reason I'm establishing this record, it goes to Councilmember Johnson's, well thought out point about mobility, access, and so on and so forth. E-bikes are sort of in a strange category with the ADA. They would only fit under the other category of mobility devices. It's not considered a primary personal mobility device. So in that regard, courts will generally uphold it if there's special circumstances relating to public safety and the issues that you touched on that you've averred are prevalent on the boardwalk. That's the only reason I asked. Thank you.
Thanks.
It may come as a surprise to some of you, and others not, that bicycles weren't allowed on the boardwalk, I think, until 1975. And I got a ticket for riding my girlfriend on the boardwalk in 1975. That's how I know it. And she didn't get one, I did. But, it took a long time to get bikes onto the boardwalk. And now it seems to be like a right. It's a right. And I'm not trying to, I would never want to take that away. I love riding my bike on the boardwalk. But I see a lot of people, and not just e-bike people, but people riding regular bicycles, riding very aggressively down the middle of the bike lane, like they're going to hit you, and if they hit me, it's going to hurt them too, because I've fat, so, they're going to get, I weigh 215 pounds, it's going to hurt them, and I don't want to get hurt. So I think there's not just e-bikes, but aggressive people riding their bicycles on the boardwalk. We're lucky to have this boardwalk. We're lucky to have it as safe as it is, and we have to protect that. I'd like to ask a question also. I know that you guys exercise a lot of discretion. Your police officers, with in terms of the bicycles locked to the north side and to the ramp. So the ramps are a problem, right? The ramps are a problem,
Correct.
Especially the ramps going to the beach. Because there's not a lot of room, and people bring in baby carriages and volleyball net carriages and what have you, surfboards. But also the ramps going onto the boardwalk are an issue too. So, we think that common sense would prevail, but we know that common sense ain't so common. So I know that you guys use discretion, and I'm glad that you do. But at some point, sometimes you have to do something about it, right?
Yeah, and as you pointed out, it's our biggest concern from a safety standpoint is the ramps, as you pointed out. On the boardwalk, and also the ramps in the west end and on the east end of town outside the boardwalk. People do lock their bikes there, and it just people can't get up and down the ramps. When they put a bicycle on both sides, it's just there's not enough space.
Maybe we need more racks, maybe in the west end. I don't know. That might be something that we should look into, at least in the west end part. On the boardwalk, I think we have a lot of room. But that's all the questions I have. Do we have comments or questions from the public? Okay. We'll go right in the front row, Dave.
Hi, yeah, Dave Scuden. I live at 215 West Pine. In the ordinance, it starts off as no person, and then no e-bikes, and no electric scooters, and the only e-bikes allowed the only bikes allowed on the boardwalk are conventional bikes and conventional tricycles. All right. Now, what is an e-bike, okay? Well, this ordinance does not take into account anything from the ADA, nothing. The ADA states that under the ADA, a bicycle with electric assist can be classified as what's called an other power-driven mobility device, just like you talked about before. Okay? The law requires that people with disabilities who use these devices be allowed to in areas where the public is allowed. All right. State and local governments cannot ban e-bike assisted, electric assisted bikes if they are being used by a person with mobility disabilities. If any electric bike is needed to overcome a mobility impairment, it is considered the OPDMD. Now, it's not just a recreational bike. And I'll get into it later, but now, another part of the ADA, it states, and I don't want the city to be in any legal problems by passing an ordinance that we become liable, okay? A motor vehicle ordinance that does not account for compliance with the ADA is generally unenforceable to the extent that it conflicts with federal law. Under Title II of the ADA, state and local governments must allow individuals with disabilities to use wheelchairs and other power-driven mobility devices in areas where the public is allowed. If a municipality implements an ordinance banning devices such as electric scooters, segways, golf carts, e-bikes without providing reasonable exceptions for people with disabilities, it faces significant legal risk. All right? Now, I don't want to see the city get in trouble, okay? And by passing an ordinance that does not have any exception and denies people with disabilities access to the bike lane is going to come under question. And I'm not a lawyer, but I have talked to people who are. And a couple of them said, this is a gold mine for a lawyer. Having a class action suit against the city representing all people with disabilities that are denied access to the boardwalk can cost us a fortune. I don't want to see that. I think we have to reword this and allow people with disabilities to access the boardwalk. We're not going to drive at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I mean, I know, listen, on a compassionate point, I have friends that have Parkinson's, bad lungs, bad hearts, people with little bad mobility, can't move. But on an e-bike, on an e-tricycle, they now can enjoy the boardwalk and be independent. I mean, have we gotten to a point where it's like, well, we're afraid this guy's going to go so fast that everyone's banned from the boardwalk now? All the senior citizens, the people that grew up here, the ones that used to ride their bikes when you said you were in 1975? Well, in 1964, I got a ticket for having a surfboard. I mean, come on. I mean, things have changed.
I'm surprised they caught you.
E-bikes are here to stay, and they can be used by people with disabilities to help them. And I don't think that the city council wants to ban people with disabilities from enjoying the boardwalk. And the way this is written, it does. You're telling a cop up there when he sees an e-bike, get that person off. And I know people with disabilities that have been thrown off the boardwalk by our police. And it's not right.
Thank you. I appreciate your
Okay.
comments. Yeah, thanks. You don't want to comment, right? I'm going to ask the Corporation Counsel to make a comment on that.
Okay. I did some research in this, and there's special protections for primary mobility devices, like those devices which are traditionally associated with assisting people moving around. In any event, courts have upheld blanket prohibitions under certain circumstances for e-bikes. They've upheld those prohibitions where you're dealing with a crowded area where usage of those devices presents a legitimate and real safety issue, which is the reason why I asked Commissioner De Palma about his observed conditions, how many complaints he's received. Councilman Reinhardt said that there was a death not on the boardwalk, but in Long Beach previously because of e-bikes. Under those circumstances, the inquiry I think a court would pose is, do you have meaningful access using other devices? Another thing I did is I looked into Disney World. They have been sued a lot with respect to access, accommodations, and issues under the ADA. They have an outright ban on e-bikes on all of Disney properties. So under certain circumstances, it's possible to do it. That's all I wanted to say. So.
No, sorry, we move on to the next speaker. And she has her hand up. You have your hand up right now. Yes. Yes.
Lucy Centeno, 225 West Park Avenue.
Hi.
As you can see, I'm a little disabled. I have my electric chair in the back. I've spent the whole day on the boardwalk. I haven't been on the boardwalk for a couple of years because of your e-bikes and the speeding bicycles. The other thing is that when I got my chair, the gentleman that came to talk to me about it and to evaluate me, I said I wanted a scooter. And he said, it depends on your medical abilities. I said, okay. I got this chair, and they said that they will not give a scooter or well, they will give them scooters. They only go up to 6 miles per hour. That's the highest most of them go. E-bikes aren't given to the disabled unless they buy them personally themselves. Okay? Medicare, Medicaid, insurance does not pay for that. I was told this by the gentleman from Hoveround. The other thing is, yes, they are dangerous. I was on the boardwalk all day today. And I'm telling you, some of the bicyclists go really fast. And when you're trying to cross the path, it's very dangerous. You have seniors, which I am now one, that they walk slowly. They have canes, okay? They can't rush across that walk. The bikes can't stop that fast, okay? If they stop really fast, they're either gonna flip the rider or they're gonna run into somebody. It's not feasible for an electric bike or a bicyclist to be going at a speed that they can't slow down for the pedestrians that are crossing. It's really not safe. I saw that for myself again today. 3 years ago, I was on the boardwalk, the last time I went, because the bikes, the e-bikes, were going crazy. They're doing wheelies and they're doing all kinds of stuff. It's very dangerous. And I don't know of one person, one disabled person, and I've been in Long Beach since I'm 9. I don't know of one that has an e-bike to get around. I know they have scooters. They don't have e-bikes. E-bikes will not be given to a disabled person by any insurance company. They will not pay for it, and the doctors don't recommend them. That's all.
Thank you. Thanks. You got it right under the wire. That's perfect. Yes. Dale.
Dale Greenstein, 522 West Olive Street. Friday evening, my husband and I were walking on Park Avenue trying to get to Gino's. I say trying because there were 5 really nice little girls that were riding down Park Avenue. They weren't doing anything. They were laughing, having a great time. There was one that came up from behind. I was clearly disabled. I have a cane. It didn't matter to her. And I don't think she meant anything by it. She just wanted to catch up with her friends. Well, I didn't fall, but I really had to catch myself. And it was a good thing my husband was next to me. I've been talking about this for a long time. I've been talking about...
Kids riding bicycles on the sidewalk. Is that what you're talking
Yes,
about?
yes.
Yeah, me too.
It's a huge problem.
And adults.
Yes, absolutely. I can understand kids because they don't want to be in the street, they're told not to be, etc. But I also have a question regarding business district. What connotes a business district in Long Beach?
I believe it's defined in the code. It's basically this area over here.
Yeah, but there's a lot of other areas that are business areas.
Well,
I can tell you
correct me
from...
if I'm wrong, but bicyclists are not allowed to ride on the sidewalk over the age of 10,
So,
right?
yeah, no bicycles allowed on a sidewalk in the business district at all, at any age, and under 10 is permitted on the sidewalks in residential neighborhoods.
I know, but I'm talking about business district now. To me, business district is from Monroe Boulevard west all the way through to Laurelton Boulevard. And then it starts again on actually it starts between Grand and New York in the West End, and it goes all the way down. Are we talking about those streets?
So yeah, we would enforce no bicycles on the sidewalk in the West End and in the center of town, in the business district as well.
You're
Yeah.
saying center of town. I don't consider Laurelton Boulevard the center of town. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. No, Laurelton Boulevard would be considered, yes, part of where we would enforce bicycles on the sidewalk.
Well, then you need to park a car there tomorrow morning, because I can assure you that there are going to be plenty of adults who are riding their bikes on the sidewalk and couldn't care less for who's there.
Okay, we will be out there, and adults are not allowed to ride on the sidewalk in any district.
I'm with you,
Okay,
but they do.
all right, we'll be out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Over here? Yeah. I'll get you next. I'll get you next.
Daniel Lamparter, Long Beach. I have a few questions. I'm an avid bicyclist myself. Some of you may have seen me ride my bike around town and stuff. But I think my first question is one of the biggest questions for me.
So you're going to have to move that mic up a little bit, or they're going to start screaming.
Is that better?
Yeah, okay.
One of my biggest questions is about enforcement, actually, like as in how it's enforced, right? Like we say enforcement, we have fines, and we have various, we have fines and various punishments for breaking it, but how does it get enforced? Like, does the special stop the bicyclist? Like, are they like pulled over? Is the bike confiscated? How is it enforced?
So when we stop somebody on an e-bike, they would receive a summons. It's not easy. It's a moving object, and usually the officer or the special officer will be on foot. So it's not easy, but we do have methods to slow people down and stop them.
Yeah, because I've noticed that too. Because even like it's hard to catch up with them because, like you said, they're on electronic bikes and stuff like that. So that's why I'm finding it very difficult. Enforcement to be very difficult, probably.
You're correct. It is difficult.
Even like I see with the boardwalk ramps too, like people ride their bikes down the ramps, and I've seen that a few times, and people almost get hit. And I walk my bike, but like, so another question is about bike infrastructure. I know President Finn, you actually alluded to this. In the code, you mentioned about not locking your bikes up to utility poles, correct? And various like signs and stuff like that in the resolution. But I feel like there's not sufficient bike infrastructure to handle that. And maybe a suggestion would be, I think, and this is just a suggestion, buy more bike racks, like invest in bike racks and put them on the end of the boulevards. So this stops them to lock their bikes up before they get into the business district itself, right? So if they're on the end, they're going to walk to the business they're going to because the bike is locked up on the boulevard. That was just a suggestion. And
That's a good suggestion.
Another question I have is this, when you talk about bike infrastructure and stuff like that, it has a lot to do with traffic as well. Is this being implemented in like part of like a greater plan, taking into account traffic and other situations?
Well, there was traffic studies done in town, but from the police department standpoint, it's for safety. This is why we're concerned about it. Bicycles on the boardwalk and also leaving bicycles in areas where they can be a hindrance to people.
Yeah, I understand that being a hindrance to people too, especially in the business district when you lock it up to a pole. But as of right now, it's just difficult for me as a bicyclist. This is a kind of a funny story that deals with this resolution. About like
We'll be the judge of that.
17 years ago, I actually got a warning on my bicycle for locking it against one of the light posts over here.
How many years ago?
17.
Oh, wow.
It was a while ago.
3 years ago, I would have
Yeah,
understood.
I actually did get a warning for that once. And so, yes, I know it can be enforced, and I understand enforcement is difficult, but it's probably one of the hardest things. And I understand.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. I think you had your hand. Yes.
Hi, Wendy Viscomi, 153, Wendy Viscomi with a V, 153 Neptune Boulevard. So my question is, often I'll ride my e-bike up until the boardwalk, but not on the boardwalk. And then I have no place to lock it up. Can I walk it up the ramp and lock it on the boardwalk, or would that be unacceptable?
Yeah, on the south, on the north side of the boardwalk is
Okay.
where they want
So
you to
that would be
walk-
okay
yeah,
to
but
lock
not
it
the
up
south
there?
side.
And to walk it on the boardwalk, I would be okay?
Walk up the ramp, yeah.
But if I was walking with someone and I was
Well,
taking the bike?
I don't know what's the answer on that.
Enforcement-wise, we're concerned with safety. That's our biggest issue. So if you're not riding your e-bike on the boardwalk, you're probably safe. I can't guarantee that, right? But
try to be as safe.
Yeah, you look like a very safe person. But our biggest concern is safety. So even with the bicycle lock laws, the police department isn't looking to go and clip every bicycle in town. We're looking to maybe have the authority to remove a bicycle that's causing a safety hazard. That's our biggest concern. And also, not only that, there's also derelict bicycles that people will lock up to a pole that are there for sometimes, in some cases, years. They sit there and they rust away.
Yeah, my
So-
husband's always annoyed by that.
yeah, so we want, as the police department, we want to be able to take that blight out of the neighborhoods and be able to clip those bicycles. We're not going to stage officers, behind bushes, waiting for people to lock a bike up to a pole and grab the bike. That's not
yet.
our intent from this. Our intent is basically to use reason and discretion where appropriate, and this way we can keep Long Beach, the beautiful city that it is.
I'll also add to that, the walkovers and the ramps are a spot that people typically lock their bikes to, but it makes it difficult for other people to access the beach or
No, I
the
understand
boardwalk,
that.
and
Right.
that's one of the
I
things we're
wouldn't do
trying to
that.
prevent.
My other question is, so sometimes I'll come upon a bike rack, and there's a bike on one end and a bike on the other end, and I'm not that strong, so I can't really lift the bike that easily to put it up onto the rack. So I have occasionally locked it, like in front of the library, that happened to me, and I locked it on on a pole, I think it was. So is there anything that they can do to make it more feasible? The bike racks that go like this, there's some that are just like a half moon.
Yeah.
Those are really easy to lock up because, I don't have to
Right.
lift it.
Yeah. We need more racks. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Okay.
We need more racks, and we're going to do something about that.
Right.
For sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, man in the blue shirt with the mask.
Thank you for recognizing me. My name?
Yes.
Dr. Gary Sipperstein. And my claim to fame is I swam in the municipal pool. I stood in the line of the polio epidemic. In short, I was born on Washington Boulevard 82 years ago. And I have a minor issue that is connected to this ordinance. And that is, where the hell did the bicycles park? The e-bicycles park. When we rebuilt the boardwalk, we followed the best features and aspects of universal design. And for those who may not be similar or aware, universal design is cutouts on the sidewalks, braille on the buttons for an elevator. And what we have is we have metal railing along the paths that are going up to the boardwalk. We have metal railings going down to the beach. We have sloping ramps so that it's easy to get up and to come down. On a given Saturday, in the middle of the summer, I've counted about 20 e-bikes, regular bikes, chained to to the railing.
Yeah.
They're not parked on the boardwalk, on the north side, without the benches. They're parked in the middle of the ramps. How do you get down? And how do you get up if you're a person with a disability? We do not conform right now to ADA, not because we didn't build it right, because we're not policing it correctly. I spoke last year to Joe Brand and his department. I told them about the difficulty of a man with hemiplegia, stroke, possibly, who fell, stumbled. Myself, last summer, who stumbled and wound up in the middle of a set of spokes on a wheel of a bicycle. I have a progressive neurological disorder. And if I look like I'm shaking, it's because of the disorder, not because I'm nervous.
You don't seem nervous.
I've written about disabilities, books, numerous articles on ADA, on the quality of life of people with disabilities, the children in schools, children in recreation. 50 years. And there are days on Saturday or Sunday or a holiday, I can't get up the ramp.
So, sir, I just want, I don't want to interrupt you, but
Please,
we are addressing
I've
that.
overdone my time.
We are addressing that.
I'm sorry?
That is addressed in this ordinance.
It is or it isn't?
It is.
What steps will you take to empower the special police to put up signs, small as they may be,
On the ramps.
not parking on the ramps?
Yes.
It's there?
That's what we're changing the code to
It's
say.
hard to hear.
That's what we're changing the code to say, that you're not allowed to park it on the walkways or the ramps at all. You're not allowed to fix your bicycle to those
Right,
locations.
we're addressing
That's
that.
what we're changing the code to
That's what
say.
this ordinance is for.
You are going to address it in the
Yes.
ordinance? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I agree. Roy?
Roy Lester, Long Beach. To the police commissioner. How many tickets were given out last year for e-bikes?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't have that number with me, I'm sorry.
The year before, I think it was 4.
More.
I'm sorry.
They even yell at you, Roy. That's amazing.
You what?
They even yell at you.
I'm used to it. Especially up here.
I think it was more than that, yeah, but,
Because I asked you that question, I think, 2 years ago, and it was 4 or 5. And I understand, and I don't think, given that Mr. Reinhardt said there are thousands, or did you say hundreds of thousands, or hundreds?
Complaints.
Hundreds and thousands. Yeah, complaints. I just was wondering, part of the problem is the enforcement. Now, I'm sure you remember when Ron Walsh went crazy on the bikes. People were upset, but the ramps up to Boardwalk were clear for 2 years after that, completely clear. And I know because I ride the Boardwalk. The problem is, and it's something I've brought up for 20 years now, we don't have bike lanes. And if we had bike lanes, people wouldn't need to use the Boardwalk. And as a parent, I want my child on a bike. Well, now I'm getting grandchildren. I want them on the Boardwalk because, to me, being on the Boardwalk is the safest place you can be. Most of the accidents we have with bikers are on the street with cars. And that's the statistics.
that's correct.
And the cars are the dangerous thing for bikers. And I bike with the group, and every person in that group has been hit by a car. Every single one. And that's where the danger is.
Me too.
And I've said for 20 years, let's get bike lanes. And we were going to have it with Deco Bike and stuff like that, and we've never done it. We don't even paint most of the time. We don't even paint the Broadway one. And the Broadway one is usually obstructed with people parking there. If you don't have bike lanes, we have more bikes per capita than any other place in New York State. And, regulation, increasing the fine isn't the answer. Now, one other question before my time runs out. Oh, the same goes for bike racks. I've been pushing for bike racks for years. And, we put up the silly little bike racks that put one bike on one side and one bike on the other. And that just doesn't do it. And we've asked that the stores be required to put bike racks in front, and that doesn't happen either. And the truth of the matter is there is no place to put the bikes. But now you're talking about the north side. Now, the busiest part of town is right in the center of town, and a good portion of that north side is taken up. Are people allowed to put their bikes there? Taken up by tables?
I don't think that's where the problem is.
That wasn't my question, though, was it? My
Depends on
question
what-
was,
so
are
the
people
answer is,
allowed?
It depends on where you're talking about.
Are people allowed to put their bikes by the tables?
By the tables?
Yes.
On the tables?
There are 11 tables spread out over there. Are people allowed to attach, since the bikes have to be attached to the north side?
No, they don't have to be.
Yes, they do.
No, people can leave their bikes on the north side if it's not obstructing somebody or something. That's just a common sense thing, right?
Well, people want to attach
But common
it
sense
to,
ain't so common, right?
People want to attach it to something so it doesn't get stolen. Because we have a big problem here with bikes being stolen. Okay, so they want to attach it to a railing. And that's why people attach it to the south side, because there's space there. Now,
No,
I'm
the south-
asking, can people
The south
attach
side is
it?
where most of the benches are. There aren't a lot of spots on the south side to do it. That's why they're all on the north side.
Yeah, so can they put their bikes by the tables?
No.
Physically, I don't think you can do it. There's just,
Why would
the tables are
why would
blocking
you do
the,
that? Why would
Because if you
someone
need-
do that?
If you need space, because there's
There's
not enough
plenty of
space.
space up there
There's plenty of
on
space
the north
up
side.
there.
Absolutely.
So people are complaining that there's no place to park a bike. They're wrong?
Yes. I think they are wrong. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Yes. That's a great question.
Eileen Hessian. For years, Len Torres, who was on the council, every time a new store opened, he asked, would you be interested in putting up a bike rack? I would suggest that we tell the store owners they have to put up a bike rack. And they have to make it the type of bike rack that will hold many bikes. For example, by the library, not those that hold only a few bikes. We need more racks because you have eliminated almost every spot where you can tie up your bike. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, and I guess remind you of, is I don't know how many years ago, 3 or 5 years ago, a woman fell by the sign that says no bikes in this business area. She fell and she sued us and we settled. I believe it was for $50,000. So everyone who came up, I think, mentioned enforcement, which is nearly impossible because every time I'm up here, I'm almost run over by a bike. And that's also the bikes going in the wrong direction and weaving in and out in front of the cars.
So you're happy about
I mean,
this?
it's a real problem.
So you're happy about this ordinance then?
I'm not happy about the whole ordinance, but what I want
What don't
is
you like about the
enforcement.
ordinance?
It doesn't matter if I like it or not. What I'm worried about is enforcement. The police cannot, and even the specials cannot possibly cover that unless we find the people and we don't settle and give them $50,000 when they fall right in front of the sign and sue us. And when Mr. Scudin was up here talking about getting sued, I think he's a fortune teller. Anyway, some of this, yes, is very good. We need some enforcement of this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Jim Kirkland, Long Beach.
Hi.
We've talked a lot about bikes and where bikes can be parked and not parked. And one of the things I looked up while I was sitting there was stopping distance on a bike. You hear about cars and stopping distance, but I was absolutely amazed by how much time it takes to bring a bicycle to a stop. And an e-bike at 15 miles an hour goes 20 to 35 feet before it'll stop. And 15 feet of that distance is just somebody reacting, not even stopping. So, and if you go at 20 miles an hour, it's 45 to 60 feet. And if you go at 28 miles an hour, which some of them can do, it's anywhere from 100 to 200 feet before they can come to a stop. So if they're barreling along and not really paying attention, and something darts out in front of them, they don't have a chance. And so I think the the issue has to be addressed by the penalty for not obeying the rules. And I think the easiest way to get the point across is to impound. I don't know if we have the property, the legal right to do so, but to impound the bicycle for a week or 3 weeks or a month. Because a kid without his bicycle is going to feel that more than any words you can tell him, and any punishment his parents could, probably address to him. So anyway, that's.
All right, well, that's a
all I
good
have
point,
to say.
yeah, all right. We should take cars away from people too, right? We have more? In the back. Yes. Dale, you already got up and spoke about this. No, it's just, sorry, one per customer. Sorry about that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to.
So you have to
tonight-
say your name, that's the way we do it here.
James.
James what?
Long Beach.
Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah, they
I'm
want
here
you-
tonight to
so you got-
advocate.
Just take that mic and push it up a little bit, and then, yeah, you guys speak right into it, yeah.
I'm here tonight to advocate for expanding our city's bike infrastructure, specifically by adding dedicated protected bike lanes on our main connecting corridors. Lately, there's been a lot of council discussion and public frustration regarding e-bikes, boardwalk restrictions, and people riding illegally on sidewalks. But if we want to fix the sidewalk problem, we have to address the root cause. People ride on the sidewalks because they don't feel safe riding on the street. According to the state traffic data, bike accidents in Nassau County have jumped over 50% in the last decade. High traffic areas like East Park Avenue and Long Beach Boulevard are hotspots for serious crashes. If a family or commuter wants to ride from the north side down to the boardwalk, they have to navigate a chaotic mix of aggressive driving, double parked cars, and door zones. By investigating protected bike lanes, we solve multiple problems at once. We naturally pull bikes off the sidewalks. We protect kids and older residents who want to get around cleanly, and we ease the massive summer parking strain. We are a compact, beautiful waterfront community. We should be one of the most bike-friendly cities on Long Island. Let's make that a reality by prioritizing real infrastructure in our upcoming safety action plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to say, just like another place not too far from here, about like 5 miles down the road in Rockaway Beach, they have many bike lanes on the streets that is very easy to get around. Even on the boardwalk, you can ride e-bikes, and it is easy. The New York City Police Department allows e-bikes to be on the boardwalk, and they do not have a problem like how we have it. They have a specific speed limit, just like they did when the Mayor Adams was the mayor not too long ago. They put it down to 20 miles per hour, and I feel like we could try to do that and have enforcement on the boardwalk, not just outright ban it, This is a free country, and I feel like we should be able to have e-bikes and not just ban something because it is not safe. I feel like we should have enforcement. People on the boardwalk that have them, like kids like my age, don't really ride it the right way, how they should. And there should be enforcement. And education, like how he said. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Looks like that's it. All right.
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street. I support this in some aspects, this safety pedestrian plan. Reckless high-speed e-bike riding in our business districts and our boardwalk is a genuine danger to our community. For the safety of our seniors, families, and children, standard recreational riders should absolutely be required to dismount and walk their bikes in high-density pedestrian zones. Reckless speeding must face steep penalties, like everybody keeps speaking about penalties. However, as a community advocate, I must urge that the City Council not let a safety crackdown turn into a civil rights violation, as Mr. Scooten was saying. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, I miss Jim, who started Curve here in City of Long Beach, because he would be here right now speaking about this. When a resident with a mobility impairment uses an e-bike or e-track, the device is legally classified as other power-driven mobility, as Mr. Scooten was saying, or OPDMD. For these neighbors, an e-bike is not a recreational toy. It is the function equivalent of a wheelchair, allowing them to access, well, it's the law, I hear you. It is the functional equivalent of a wheelchair, allowing them to access the boardwalk, enjoy our beach, and navigate our community districts. Federal law requires public entities to make reasonable modifications to permit these devices. A blanket ban on the boardwalk or the sidewalks without explicit medical accommodation violates the ADA. We can eliminate the danger of speeding without eliminating the independence of our neighbors with disabilities. I urge the council to pass a balanced ordinance, enforce strict speed limits, and mandate walking for general riders on business sidewalks, but clear, explicit exemption for individuals safely using these devices as an ADA mobility accommodation. So again, I say, as the attorney was saying that he looked some stuff up, I'm not sure if the city council looked some stuff up. But I'll urge the city council, anytime that something is put before you to vote, that you do your own due diligence. This is our city, and yes, someone got killed on Riverside, so we need to do something. I urge that. But we need to make sure we do our own due diligence, so it's just not okay, this was put before us and nobody's asking questions. Every time, sometimes it's time for the council to ask a question. They don't ask no questions. And then the city attorney just brought some information up. So again, I urge you to do your own research.
Thank you. Okay. Judy.
Judy Vining, Long Beach. Question, Greg, when was a map drawn that denoted what business districts?
You know, I don't know. I don't know. off the top
I'm
of my
wondering if it was pre the spring up of, say, the business district from Roosevelt to Neptune, because I keep hearing Monroe's the end of it. But if you drive east, it's not. And if you try to walk
the
on
north side of Roosevelt to Neptune, I've discussed that with the council myself, because
Yeah,
I live by there. And
because
it's a
it's
terrible
insane,
situation.
right?
It's very packed. There's cars double parked. It's extremely unsafe.
there are no parking spaces, there are bikes all over the place.
To the commissioner's credit, I do see police there frequently,
yeah.
but like you would have to put somebody there
They're
pretty much
24/7.
12 hours a day.
Right.
So.
But, okay, that was my pitch for, let's look at the East End, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's it. We're no more comments on that, and we're going to close that then. Thank you, Commissioner.
Our third public hearing is a local law amending the charter of the City of Long Beach REIT Environmental Quality Review Act.
So this public hearing amends the charter regarding the Environmental Quality Review Act. As noted with the last agenda item, sections of our charter and code are outdated. In this case, the amendments eliminate reference to a local waterfront revitalization plan, since we do not have one currently in place. And we make the charter consistent with the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, or SEQR. I have Corporation Counsel Kalnitsky here if you have any further questions, and he could probably explain this a little bit further. Go ahead.
This item is really quite boring. We're just revising the existing standards for environmental review and making them conform to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. That's really it. So.
Well, actually, that was my exact point. So basically, making these adjustments will make us consistent with New York State law.
Yep, this is all copied and pasted from the state analog. It's, like I said, really quite boring, this item.
Okay. Any other comments from the council? Comments from the public? All right, then, we'll close that.
I just want to note for the council, that last item still needs to be reviewed by the Nassau County Planning Commission, which will happen on Thursday. So if we could just, it's okay to close the public hearing, but if we just hold over the vote until the next meeting when we have that.
Okay.
Okay, it
Yep.
should be for Thursday
Right.
afternoon, I should have it.
We'll wait till the next meeting to have the vote, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our next public hearing is an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinance of the City of Long Beach, REIT Vehicles for Hire.
So the fourth public hearing is to amend the Code of Ordinances regarding vehicles for hire. As already been mentioned several times, the codes are outdated, and we're trying to update all these codes to more modern conditions. In an effort to keep it more evergreen, this resolution will remove the fee schedule from the code and allow it to be set by City Council resolution. I should note that this section of the code only applies to those vehicles for hire that have a medallion in the city, so it does not apply to ride shares like Uber or Lyft. This hearing is just a changing of the code, not a changing of the fare rate. That item was added by unanimous consent and will be discussed later. Again, Corporation Counsel Kalnitsky is here to answer any further questions you may have.
All right, Mike?
Yeah, so I know this is a public hearing about the ordinance, but let's face it, how this came about was that our Long Beach cab companies attended a city council meeting recently, and they asked us to look at the fees. And as we did, I believe the first question was, when is the last time that we raised the fee for our Long Beach taxis? And Greg, the answer to that?
Something like 20 years ago.
Over 20 years.
Yeah, so it was 18 to 20 years ago. Of course, you never want to raise fees for anything, but the reality of the situation is, if we do not raise these fees for the cab companies, we won't have a cab company. So that's what we're risking here, and what we talk about on agenda item number 15 is how much it is. It's a modest, I don't want to say modest, but it's a modest $2 increase. I think for any of us who take Uber, Lyft, as I do often, this is still a great bargain to use the Long Beach cab services. Sometimes when it's peak and I want to go down to the West End and take an Uber, it'll cost $25 to $30 without skipping a beat. So the Long Beach cab service is still a great option and much more affordable. That's it.
All right, thank you. George?
I get it right on that. So it's
All right, good.
Everything you need to say about it.
So we have, this is a public hearing. Yep. So we have comments from the public on this? Okay. Then we'll close that.
A public hearing regarding an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, readmittance fee and passes for Ocean Beach Park.
So the fifth and final public hearing for tonight is to amend the Code of Ordinances with respect to admittance fees and passes for Ocean Beach Park. Similar to the previous item, we are seeking to remove the fee schedule from the code and have it be set by council resolution. The next item on the agenda speaks to the modest change in beach pass fees for this year, and I will discuss that in the next item. This item only deals with the procedural means for changing the fee structure. Again, Greg Kelnitsky is here to answer any further questions you may have on this item or on this public hearing.
Mike?
So I just, Greg, why don't you just ask the benefit, if I could just ask the benefit of doing it this way?
It's a custom and practice I've adopted a number of years ago that when I work on something that has a fixed price set in the code, it's going to need to change. And by having those changes occur vis-a-vis resolution, it just makes it a much easier and more efficient process. There aren't the same notice requirements and so on and so forth, such that if we need to make a change quickly, we can make a change quickly. Otherwise, you have to notice a public hearing, have the public hearing, and so on and so forth. So I just, as a practice over the last, I don't know, I would say 6-7 years, I would always recommend setting it by resolution, and the municipalities that I work for, I think, realize the benefit of that. I've never heard any issues about it. It just makes their lives much easier.
All right, appreciate that. Okay, comments from the public? All right, thank you. Then we'll close that one as well.
Yeah, we should at least vote on that one because the next item. He put up his hand now.
Excuse me?
I just had a quick question.
Okay.
You didn't see my hand.
I didn't see it, no.
Yeah, it's just a quick question.
Come on up.
Quick question. This is to be able to just raise the fees without a public hearing about it, or what? I just want to clarify.
Yeah, it allows the fees for the services to be set by resolution. Resolutions don't require public hearings. They don't require publication in a newspaper. They don't require a waiting period, none of that.
Okay, and how was it before? It had to come to the public and the public get a chance to speak about it?
It was in the code. It was codified in there.
Yeah. But it usually was a public meeting about it, right?
It would still have to go to a resolution, and it would still have to be presented to the public, and you'd still have the time to speak it like any other resolution.
Okay, so I'm trying to get an understanding of, so it's just really,
People
so
can
you'll cut.
No, I think your question is, can people comment about it? And the answer is yes.
They can comment about it, but it won't be no public hearing like the 3 hearings we just had, right? Like the hearing we just had. Correct. People coming up, speaking about it. And we know that if it's in a resolution, because you guys changed the laws, you may have to wait till 50 other resolutions go by before you actually get a chance to actually stand up and speak about
Everyone's entitled to speak about the resolutions, yes.
No, but I'm saying you would have to wait to, at the end of the meeting to get...
Not the end of the meeting.
You do.
When we get to the point of the resolution, right?
No, you have to wait to the end of the meeting because you remember you're deleting it from public...
Right, that's the way they do it in almost every municipality in New York State.
All right, they don't, and I just think that this is
do.
another way...
They do.
Another thing that you're taking away...
We're not taking anything away.
So
Nothing.
you want to talk on your time, or you want...
I'm answering your questions.
I hope you stop my time.
You're asking questions, I'm
Okay.
answering them.
All right, so I want to finish saying...
Okay.
This is another thing that you keep constantly taking away from
We're
the
not taking
community
anything away.
to have more of an impact and hear our concerns. When you are trying to have a public hearing and now you make it to a resolution and you have to wait till 14 items go, you got to pick what you're going to talk about. Whenever the fees are going up, it should not just be handed to the city council to just raise the fees without the residents of the city of Long Beach having major input in that decision. All right? That's it.
So the answer to this is, the people of the city of Long Beach have absolute opportunity to comment on this. Absolute. Every resolution you can comment on. That's the way it works. Nothing has changed. the people of the city of Long Beach have the opportunity to speak about any resolution they want to speak about. We did not change anything like that. Where's the applause for that? Nothing changed. Okay. It didn't change. You still have the opportunity to speak about it. Okay, let's go to the next one. I can't hear you. Do you want to vote on those first? Okay, so I'll make a motion to vote on the those items.
Not all of them.
Just the first four, right?
On items 1, 2, 4, and 5?
Yeah. Well, so we're not going to vote on the environmental.
We gotta get the
Right,
planning
yeah,
commission.
So
okay.
that's going to be a motion to adjourn to the next meeting.
Okay.
After this.
Yep.
Okay.
You'll do the motion to adjourn afterwards.
For number 3.
For voting.
Number 3.
Right.
All right, so who will second President Finn's motion?
I will.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes.
Okay.
So we need a motion to
Motion
adjourn
to
number
adjourn.
3.
Motion to adjourn number 3?
Yeah, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn number 3
To the next meeting?
to the next meeting.
Second.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes? All right, now we'll get to number 6, please. I'm sorry. Don't want to jump the gun, Carrie.
Item number 6 is a resolution authorizing establishing the Ocean Beach Park admittance fees for the 2026 season.
So this item sets the admittance fees at Ocean Beach Park for the 2026 summer season. The fee for all passes will remain the same except for the non-resident daily, which will increase to $16.50 from $15. Again, this is only for non-resident daily passes. In other situations, non-resident passes are double the cost of resident passes, such as monthly and seasonal passes. We feel that a modest 10% increase, the first since 2016, 10 years ago, is both warranted and still yet far below the 100% difference customary between resident and non-resident passes. Both Phil Ragona and Joe Brand are here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Mike, you have a question?
Yes. Just when we were discussing, beach fees, obviously, we did not want to touch a resident beach fee. We did not want any increases in that. So we talked about this non-residential daily. So we're making it it's not an even dollar amount. So is this going to create any trouble? But it's because we're cashless now. So if you could just explain that process, Phil, a little bit? Thanks.
Sure can, Mike. As City Manager Creighton said, the last time that we raised the daily pass rate was May of 2016. It's been 10 years. Our costs have gone up, and now that we're moving into the 21st century with electronic beach passes, which is really the wave of the future, we pay a 90 cents per daily pass technology fee to Yodel, the company that does it for us. We're covering that cost and trying to cover the other expenses we have. So it really is long overdue and absolutely necessary, in my opinion. The $1.50 cost to non-residents is going to cover the fees that we're paying to move on with the technology fees that we have.
Okay. And I know we posted on socials, but remind me, is this the first summer we're cashless?
Yes, last year we were cashless on the beach itself. This year we're totally cashless for season passes also. And it's actually worked out really well. It's really the way to go, as we can see with every other business. And we're not getting many complaints. It's going well.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Any effect on the sales by going cashless?
Our season sales are going very well, so we'll have to see. But so
As of
far,
right now,
I'm
no
very
change?
fortunate. What's that?
As of right now, no change?
No, we're slightly higher.
Okay. Are we doing
And
better?
we haven't had
Yes.
great weather
Oh, great.
yet.
Yeah, good.
Can people that are buying passes or season passes, can they write a check? Or is it all credit card?
No, it's all credit card, and we only take MasterCard and Visa, no American Express or anything other.
Bank cards?
Yes, you can use a debit card.
Yeah, right. Okay. Any other questions from the council? All right. Let's move to the next item.
One moment, just for clarity, the motion to vote on
You
one.
can comment at the end of the resolutions. Dale? Okay.
Just for clarity of record, the motion to vote on 1, 2, 4, and 5 was a motion to block vote, move, and introduce those items, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 7 is a resolution to amend a prior resolution for the purchase of firewall units.
So on March 18th, the council approved a measure to purchase new firewalls and also subsequently received a grant of $50,000 covering the cost of the purchase of the firewall protection and actually at the time it was for 1 year of security service. The original firewall's quote ended up not being fully compatible with our IT configuration, so we are back for a vote on the updated quote of $39,560 from GovConnect, Inc. The cost from $22,160 for the updated configuration, as well as the increase from 1 to 3 years of security service, will be fully covered by the grant. Al Perez here if the council has any questions, but again, the same purchase was approved at our March 18th meeting, albeit for less. It is only the technical specs, years of service of the contract, and the price of the request that differ. All will still be covered within the grant award. I do have Al here for any technical questions, and I believe we could, if there's any questions related to the fire department, I could call up Scott.
Okay. Thank you, Al. Question, Mike?
Well, no, my questions were, it went from 1 to 3 years, and the grant still covers the entirety.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Al.
What was the increase in the in the price?
Actually, many IT products are increasing in price because the data center demand. That's one issue. Dell right now only does quotes for 2 weeks, and then we added a high availability failover option, and we extended, as Mr. Reinhardt said, the 1 year security services to 3.
Okay, thanks.
And the
Questions?
grant will
Tracy,
cover.
you have a question?
The grant will cover all 3 years?
And then some,
Okay.
yes.
George? I'm good. Okay. We're good with that?
Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Item number 8 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase dispatch equipment for the city's fire department through a Sourcewell contract.
So I also have Al here and Scott for this one. The fire department dispatcher's computer equipment needs replacing and is beyond its useful life. We have been upgrading the equipment for the dispatchers, and it is necessary to also upgrade the 4 computers and monitors. We have the ability to purchase through a Sourcewell contract for a total of $13,138.32, with funds available in the fire department technology upgrades line of the budget. Al Perez is here to explain the cost of the equipment, and Scott Kemmons can answer any questions you have with the request and the need and function.
Mike?
I think it'd be best if, Scott, you kicked it off and just tell us about the need for this updated equipment.
Right. Our dispatching computers right now are outdated. They no longer support Windows 10.
Windows 10?
11, excuse me. We've been trying to upgrade them. This has been a process that's been going on. And typically, this purchase wouldn't need council approval because it's below the threshold. But because of all the computer equipment the city has bought from this vendor, it put the total amount over the threshold, needing city council approval to purchase it.
Perfect. That was my next question, actually. All right, I'm good. Thank you.
You guys got questions? I just, so how long before this stuff will be implemented?
They get implemented probably within a week or 2 of arriving,
How long do you think it'll take to?
probably about 3 weeks.
All right. All right, thank you. All right, and no other questions on the council? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Item number 9 is a resolution authorizing payment for Alpine Software.
Okay. Okay, so for more than 20 years, the city's fire department has utilized Alpine software for its electronic record keeping, inventory, personal records, computer-aided dispatch, and other vital functions. The cost for this past year's service has increased enough that it now requires council approval. Adequate funds are available in the department's contracted services line of the budget to cover the $24,693 invoice. Again, Scott Cummins is here and can answer any questions the council may have.
So it went up quite a bit since I mean, obviously, we've used Alpine for the past 20 years.
Right, it went up about $1,000. In 2024, we paid $23,517 for the maintenance contract.
Okay. So roughly
In 2023, we paid $21,329. So it's had a minimal increase each year.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
That was my question as well. Questions?
No, just maybe get me an Alpine system, possibly.
All right, thank you, Scott.
Might as well stay up, Scott.
Might as well just stay right there. Don't move.
Item 10 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase a Lucas chest compression system under a Savick buying group contract.
So the fire department is seeking approval to purchase 2 Lucas chest compression systems so that each of our ambulances is equipped with one of these life-saving pieces of equipment. For those that don't know, these are portable, automated mechanical CPR systems that administer consistent, high-quality chest compressions to cardiac arrest patients and free up our first responders to perform other life-saving interventions. The cost of the 2 units would be $51,855.16 and would be purchased through a Savick buying group. This purchase would be 100% covered by our community development block grant funds. I will say there is a Scribner's error in the agenda item in the resolved clause. It should read $51,855.16. They put the cost of 1 in there instead of 2. So it should match the third whereas clause. So I still have Scott here to answer any questions you may have.
Mike?
So really, I think always a city's first job is to keep people safe. The first Lucas chest compression system we bought was last year, or was that the year before?
It was probably about a year and a half ago.
Year and a half ago. Can you just explain to everybody, just in layman's terms, exactly what it does? Because I know we did this a year and a half ago, but I think it's worth mentioning on the function of this apparatus.
Right. It's a mechanical device that does chest compressions. If anybody's taken a CPR course, one of the hardest things is chest compressions. Do you go deep enough? Do you go too deep? Are you in the right place? You could break a person's ribs.
Yeah.
This machine is designed to give pretty much perfect chest compression. It goes, you set the dimensions it goes, it's in the right place, and it's constant. What was mentioned, what the city manager mentioned, is instead of having one of our providers having to sit there and do it and get tired, he could be doing other life-saving actions on this patient, starting an IV, giving drugs, maybe defibrillating, and he doesn't have to be doing chest compressions. Right now, we presently have one of them. The 2 we're purchasing will give all 3 of our first due ambulances one device.
Thank you, Scott.
Hey, Scott, have you used that one that we have?
It's been used multiple times. Pretty much any cardiac arrest that ambulance is on, it is put into use.
And how did it perform for you?
Like I said, it does perfect chest compressions. Not, everybody does them differently. The machine does them the same way every time.
Nice.
Yeah, Scott, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this machine actually saved a life de facto. There was no way that life was being saved without
Right.
this.
We've had a couple of pre-hospital saves, return with spontaneous circulation patients. The local doctor was brought back, and we had one of our own members' fathers brought back, and it does work, and it's well worth the money. If it saves one life, it's worth the money.
It's a lifesaver, absolutely.
How hard is the training?
It's done by the manufacturer. It's relatively quick. Probably 1 hour tops to learn how to use it.
Right.
It's
yeah.
very
Great.
easy and quick to get around the patient and set up.
Excellent. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Scott.
All right, let's move to the next one.
Item 11 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for overlay and pet improvements at City Hall and the Long Island Railroad with the lowest responsible bidder.
So this item is the implementation of the next phase of the pedestrian safety plan that was adopted a few years back. It's making pedestrian safety improvements around City Hall and the multimodal terminal. The estimated cost of the work is $601,574, of which approximately $500,000 will be reimbursed by community block grants. Ken Arnold, our Commissioner of Public Works, is here to further explain the project and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. So this project is resurfacing, as you can see by the PowerPoint, National Center, and adding crosswalks at National and Westchester, and at Azalea and National. Both these locations have high pedestrian crossing rates. There's a school bus stop on one of the locations. In addition, we're going to reestablish the sidewalk on Azalea to move people from walking in the road. And then we're doing a pedestrian improvement by the taxi stand so we don't have a pedestrian conflict with the cabs coming in and coming out. And finally, we're fixing the ADA access along Center by the police precinct.
How long do you think this work is going to take, Ken?
Probably a month's worth of work. About a month.
About a month?
Yeah.
Okay. You got a question, Mike?
When would we start this work?
We have a grant that we have to spend this money by the end of July, so we're going to start this work immediately.
Imminently, huh? Yeah.
So can this work, how are you phasing it? Will it be, you're going to work on Azalea first, or?
I have to sit with the contractor, but my plan would be to have him do the pedestrian and crosswalk work first. That would be done during the day. It would be staged with public safety departments to make sure that we don't get in their way. And then the milling and filling would probably be an overnight operation, all done at the same time at the end of the job.
Yeah, obviously, the number one point is to get it done, to get the DG funds, but the concern obviously is summer in
Yes.
Long Beach. So we just got to be really cognizant to be as.
Yeah, we'll have, the crosswalk on National and Chester is probably the one that's in the way the most. So we'll have to be careful about how that impacts things on the Kennedy Plaza. The other locations are pretty much in the background, so I think we'll be okay with those. But I'm most concerned about National and
And overnight milling is great.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Tracy, George?
Nothing.
Good. All right, thank you, Ken. Move to the next one, please.
Item 12 has been taken off the calendar.
It wasn't asked.
12, we took it off.
Yeah,
That's why they're here, so if you could.
Okay, so number 12 was taken off the agenda for a number of reasons, and one of the main reasons is that there's a lot of questions that we have for the company that haven't been answered. We thought they would be answered by at least today, if not much sooner than today, but they have not been, and it would probably be just not productive to go through this at this point today. So well, that's the thing. When we need the information from the company.
It's in the agenda.
Okay.
It says exactly where they're going.
Oh, you mean the street locations?
Yeah.
That's in the agenda. Okay, move to number 13.
Item 13, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with BSD Long Life LLC.
This is an item authorizing the city to enter into an agreement with BSD Long Life LLC, who is proposing to redevelop the old Sunrise Rehab facility at 367 West Park Avenue. They're applying to the Nassau County IDA for certain tax incentives, and this agreement would ensure that if the IDA grants those incentives, BSD would still provide the city with a community benefit payment that would fully compensate the city for any city portion of the tax exemption. Greg Kalnitzky's here if you have any further questions on this item.
I mean, this is a first, I believe, in the city's history where we found out that the developer, or I guess the redeveloper of that property, was intending to make an application to the Nassau County IDA and ask for a payment in lieu of taxes amongst other financial incentives. We had some productive discussions with the developer. This agreement basically makes the city's sole obligation is that we do not oppose the pilot. And then in return for not opposing the pilot, the developer will pay us the difference between the pilot payment and the otherwise applicable taxes had there been no pilot. So in effect, for the city of Long Beach, it's a wash. We're getting every dollar that the city would otherwise be entitled to, even if there wasn't a pilot, and that works for the developer, and it also works for us.
I'll make a comment. I just want to say thank you very much for the hard work you put in on this, and it took a while, but it's, I think, work that was well done, and it's good for the city. Mike, do you have a comment?
No, like, this is this is a win. I mean, I'm sure everybody in this room has driven by the Sunrise Center and said, when the hell is something going to be done with that? So now something's going to be done with it. And again, Brendan, I just want to echo what you just said. I give credit to Dan and Greg here, because for many years, developers have come in and not paid what the city was owed or what the residents deserved for new development. With this deal that these guys have struck, we are going to be made whole, and we're going to get finally a refurbished building at that location, which has been like this for, I would say, just about 30 years.
Yeah, close to that, I think.
About 30 years, I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been vacant. And, that's not to mention the tangential economic impact of having office space. We're citing an insurance company there, and there's going to be some interesting retail too, apparently. So it's going to create jobs and be a great benefit, I think.
Yep. All right, thanks.
I just think it's a great job, Greg, and everyone else.
Thank you.
To see a deserted building being utilized with some benefit to the city is great.
It was a shame that that place languished for so long. Even when they went out of business, it was quite a facility in its heyday, but its heyday wasn't long. Okay, move to the next item.
Item number 14 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinance of the City of Long Beach Food Service refuse requirements. This is for publication only. Item number 15, that was added by unanimous consent at the beginning of the meeting, is a resolution fixing the rates and fares for taxi cab services and vehicles for hire within the City of Long Beach.
So, I don't want to interrupt everybody talking. Fares that our local taxi companies are able to charge have been flat for approximately 20 years. In order to remain viable, these companies have approached the city requesting a modest increase. The item would increase rates by $2, changing a 1 or 2 zone trip from $5 to $7, a 3-zone trip from $5.50 to $7.50, a 4-zone trip from $5.75 to $7.75. The hire by hour rate would go from $25 to $27 per hour. After 20 or so years, I think this increase is reasonable. They're still much more affordable than what ride-share services such as Uber or Lyft would charge. And I'm happy to answer any questions that the council may have, and I believe Phil and John may be able to answer more if I can't.
Well, I think I said it before when we had the public hearing about it. Anybody who takes Uber and Lyft knows this is still the best deal in town, and I would encourage to use it. These guys are hard workers. They know the streets better than anybody, and it's great to keep the money in Long Beach. So I'm going to be for it, for sure.
Comments?
Agreed.
I'd just like to say what was said also previously tonight, that a lot of the senior citizens in Long Beach need this service. These companies to stay in business, and that's the important part here, so that people have a mode of transportation. So I appreciate it when you guys came down at the Good and Welfare and got yourself on the agenda. Thanks for doing that. All right. That's it, we're out of agenda items. So, let's...
Public comment.
Yeah, the public comment part now. Okay, we're going to open this up to the public for the council resolutions that we just discussed. Now, yes, in the back. What was that, Mike Delory?
Mike Delory, Long Beach. This is going to be real short. Dan and Brendan, this is for you, for something you could look at, not tonight. I was here for agenda item 12. I didn't realize it was taken off the agenda. So I'm going to close by saying this. That was a study that was done when I was on the city council, and I tried to get these parking programs done. I was not successful. But I do want to comment positively that if you do move forward and I'm unable to attend, that I will submit in writing some comments. Back in the 70s, Mr. Finn, you know that there were parking meters all throughout. And the only reason that they were removed, the only reason, is because people could break into them and you would lose the revenue. That's not the case anymore with the proposal. But I will close in this. I want to thank Ken Arnold for speaking at the West Holman Walk Civic Association last May. And I think the DPW, with the job they did on New York Avenue and Park between Grand Boulevard, was exceptional. It was quick, and I've heard nothing but positive comments. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mike. Any other comments? Who's coming first? Linda?
Agenda anymore, correct? We can talk about item 12? We can still talk about item 12, even though it's been taken off the agenda.
You could say, well, good welfare, you could say that, but it's off the agenda, so we're not going to, there's no reason to discuss
Well,
it.
this might help you when you have to talk to Flo Bird.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Linda Giles, Long Beach. Good evening. I'm seeking some clarification regarding the proposed purchase and installation of parking meters. Unfortunately, no background information was provided with this agenda item on the city website, so residents are left with a number of unanswered questions. With the exception of Riverside and Broadway, all of the listed locations appear to be city-owned parking lots. Many residents purchase annual parking permits specifically to use these lots. If parking meters are going to be installed there, it is important to understand how they will work, who will be required to pay, and how permit holders will be affected. The city recently engaged consultants to conduct a parking study and held public input sessions. To my knowledge, the final report of the has not yet been released. If that is the case, I question why the city is moving forward with purchasing parking meters before the study's findings and recommendations have been presented publicly. It gives the appearance of making decisions before all of the information is available. Conversely, if these particular lots were not part of the parking study, what data or analysis was used to justify in installing meters at these locations? Residents deserve to understand the basis for the decision. I also have questions about the location identified as the south side of Riverside and Broadway. The resolution does not provide enough detail for residents to know exactly where this meter will be placed or what its intended purpose is. If this refers to Riverside Boulevard between Broadway and the Boardwalk, it appears the city may be considering converting that area to paid parking. Additionally, information on that proposal would be helpful. Finally, the meters are being purchased from Flo Bird, but there is no information about the company's role beyond supplying the equipment. Will Flo Bird be responsible for maintenance? Will the company collect parking revenue? If so, will it receive a percentage of that revenue, and under what terms? If the city intends to expand paid parking, it should do so with full transparency and clear communication. I respectfully ask that the council provide additional details on the rationale for these meters, how they will operate, and what impact they will have on residents, particularly those who already pay for parking permits. So those are some of the questions I hope you will ask when you meet with Flowbird. And may I also speak about the Lancer building?
Yeah.
We have another blighted building in this town that's never been addressed, and that's the old hospital. It's disgusting. And we haven't heard a thing for years. So I would appreciate if somehow this council could communicate with South Nassau to do something about it. It is really a blight on this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Linda, we'll have the answer to a lot of the questions that you just posed, and some of those questions we had, and that's the reason why it was taken from the agenda. So they will be addressed, every single one of them. Oh, you coming up? I saw you coming out like you were called. I thought you were called.
Roy Lester, Long Beach. The number 15.
They're going to yell at you, so.
The number 15. Was there a sheet on it or anything?
It was added at the beginning of the meeting by motion. So
Yeah, I know it was, but
will be
there was
available.
nothing printed for us.
It will be available on the website. It's just an increase of $2, but we don't have a...
There's no backup. It was just an increase of rates.
Right, right, but it's supposed to be presented to us. So.
It was unanimous resolution.
It was a draft. All right. So, okay. On the Lancer building, I'm trying to understand that. You say basically it's a wash. We're getting the money that we would be getting, which is wonderful. You know,
Yes.
everything that I basically was prepared to say doesn't really apply because I'm very much against pilots, especially for high-class buildings. But what the host community benefit agreement says is not what you guys are saying. They're saying we only get 50% for the first few years, and then it gradually goes up. That's Exhibit A.
So there's Long Beach, I believe when you were on the council, if I'm wrong, call me out on it, voted on a business exemption to phase in taxes for certain types of developments. This type of development would qualify for that, which is why it's phased in that sense.
Can you just cite to where it is in the charter?
You know, I can't remember the exact section. It's like section 485 business exemption or something like that. I don't have the exact citation in front of me.
So how does the pilot benefit them?
How does the pilot benefit them?
Yes, if they're paying
Because
their...
there's other taxes other than city taxes.
Well, you mean the sales tax and the mortgage tax?
No.
There is sales tax exemption. There is a mortgage recording tax exemption, which is a significant benefit for them.
So-
And there's also other pilots not relating to the city taxes.
Now, does the school district get the same deal?
I don't know if their attorneys negotiated it.
So the mortgage tax, we get a portion of that. The sales tax, we get a portion of that. If they get an exemption for that, we lose that portion?
That's a complicated question that I don't think could be answered that way, because if it's a sales tax exemption, it depends. Where are they buying the materials from, the city of Long Beach or elsewhere? If it's elsewhere, that's not our money anyway.
Right, right.
So-
Yeah. So, but if they buy it in Long Beach, if they buy anything in Long Beach, we lose money on that.
Well, they would be exempt from paying sales tax. I don't know.
Right.
We'd
And
lose
that-
money.
And the mortgage tax, that we get a portion of that. I forget what it is.
It's a small, if it is a portion, it's a small portion.
And we would lose money on that too.
Well, the biggest deal is the pilot. That's
Right.
the most substantial chunk of change. Everything else, I think it's fair to characterize as minor.
No,
compared
I
to
mean,
that one.
you know what, but the truth of the matter is, if they're making up what we're losing in the pilot,
Right.
then, you know, nobody has a
Well,
complaint.
We're not losing, we're just not getting.
Yeah, it's not about
It's not a
losing.
loss of
Nobody's
money.
losing. We're getting a derelict building that's been empty for 30 years redeveloped.
You know what? That could have been done a long time ago.
Why wasn't it?
Because people just, had nothing to do with the city council.
Okay.
You know, it had nothing to do with it. I know that building very, very well.
Maybe it did.
You know, and, that was a beautiful building.
Yes,
at
it
the
was.
time. And Enneman and what his name could not get along.
Yeah.
That destroyed it, and, but that building, there were so many people that were interested, and it
Yeah.
had nothing to do with the city and the council. They just, So the idea that it's, that there's a pilot upsets me, but the fact that we're not really losing, if what you're saying is correct, and, if you could get back to me on what article it is. what
I
part
will
of-
find the resolution, okay, where this
Yeah.
was enacted. It was under City Manager Gaydon that the city opted into this exemption, and I thought it only fair that if they would get that otherwise, without any pilot application, that we just give that to them.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true, because if they're going to get it anyway.
Right.
That's true, but,
And Roy, we agree with you in that we are totally against pilots. We want to make sure that anything that is developed in the city is, the city is getting its otherwise share of taxes. We don't want to see people getting a pilot that affects us and it's voted on by someone else outside the city. So we specifically went to meet with them to say, we won't oppose your pilot if we get our otherwise
if we get our
applicable
money.
talent.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
All right, thank you. Yes, Dale.
Dale Greenstein. I'm really glad to hear about the paving that took place around New York Avenue. I would like to submit that we take care of the paving that's needed on Broadway between National and Magnolia. It is not in good shape. Also, in regard to purchasing beach passes, if people are using their credit cards, is there going to be that percentage charge that some people are adding on when a card is used?
No.
No, okay.
Do you want
Good
us
know.
to?
No, I don't. I don't want to rip people off. And what does BSD stand for?
And the,
Yes, that's the company's name. I don't know.
Okay, well, what do they do?
I mean, it's a company that they own this property with and they're developing with. It's a developer. The way real estate development works is usually if you're a developer, you form a different company for each individual project.
I guess I'm asking you, what do they plan on bringing there?
Oh, so this was in front of the zoning board previously. They're putting office space on the upper portion of it. They're relocating an insurance company as the primary tenant of the office space, and they're offering retail amenities on the ground floor. So it's going to be retail and office.
What about the pool?
That's probably rotten by now.
The pool might be getting turned into the retail space.
I believe they're a Hartford-based insurance company as well.
Okay, so that means that that's business district also, so no bikes on that block, right?
Well, it's a business use. I'm not sure that if it's in the boundaries of the defined business district for purposes of the bicycle. But honestly, I don't think the 10-year and under kids are the ones that are creating the problem. It's the 10-year and older. And the police commissioner already has the authority to enforce that, not just in the business district, anywhere. So,
Well, retail means business to me. And also, they have a bicycle shop on that block off the corner, and they also have a convenience store on the corner.
there's also medical offices, too.
Yes, but they're not on the main level. So I don't consider them a business district. Okay, thank you, and I'll be back later.
Okay.
Unless you want to hear it all.
Not really. Not,
Well,
not right now.
I do want to tell you, but I really want to know where the fees for the cabs are going to be posted for the zones? In the cabs?
Yep.
No place else? I ask you that because I don't want people to be surprised and not have money to pay for it once they're in.
Yeah.
And I'm not opposed to you getting more money.
I work for both car services, Long Beach Taxi
Okay.
and B Street Taxi. I've already printed these up. These are going to go into every car starting tomorrow, letting everybody know that we're not doing it overnight. We're going to wait until Monday to have the price go up. And it's basically, if you spend $5, it's $7. It's not a guessing game. It's just going to be $2. That's it.
I understand that, but people don't know.
Well, they will know.
Right.
If whoever does take a cab in the next 5 days will know. All the house accounts have already been emailed. And if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to the taxi stand right here, or they can come down to West End Auto, which is where my office is located, and I have the price sheets made up for everybody down there anyway, also.
Can they be posted any place that is, for instance, like in the library, those kind of things?
If you need a price, you remember, I'm covering the whole,
Right.
the whole county.
That's my point.
So if you need a price, you call the dispatcher's office, and they will give you a price quote right there on the phone.
Thank you
That-
very
that-
much.
that's all it is.
Thank you. Thank you, Dale.
It needs to be for everybody to use, so,
Thank you.
okay, I'm good.
All right.
Oh, I want to thank you for having the streets cleaned, more so than in the past. I've had my street cleaned twice so far this spring, summer, and I think last summer it didn't happen even twice. But it would be a good idea if we would know a schedule so we can get our cars out of the way.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that appears to be it. Oh, have your hand up? Yeah. Okay.
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street. Just wanted to add to the e-bikes. As Mr. Scooten gave information and then the city attorney updated everybody. I'm not sure if you had it prior, like I said, not sure what research you've done or not done, but I always say look at all of this stuff yourself. So I just want to say, you know, the Title II of the ADA Department of Justice Regulation 28 CFR Section 35.137, the city is legally mandated to make reasonable modifications to allow these devices for individuals with mobility impairments. Furthermore, Section 35.104 explicitly defines battery-powered e-bikes as other powered-driven mobility devices, as Mr. Scooten said again, love Mr. Scooten and Beth, when used for local motion by a person with disabilities. A blanket ban without a narrow fact-based safety assessment, and I know you said that, you know, the commissioner said that sometimes it's dangerous and all of that, so that's giving you some things there, but again, I say explicit medical exemption violates federal law. We can protect our pedestrians and follow federal law at the same time by enforcing a pedestrian pace speed limit for these accommodations. And I always say this, as many people can see that friends are friends and you're still friends when you get elected, but sometimes you can see that friends can care less when others are leading them, because again, I say the president may be in favor of something and you don't see any of the council pretty much speak at all, and they just go with whatever he's saying. And it's not right, it's not good. You got elected on your individual persons of who you are. Speak up, speak out, let people hear you. Whether you agree or disagree, you spoke in the back room, the meeting before, people are listening to hear you. So again, I say to all of you, whatever your opinion may be on something, speak about it. Let the community hear you. And so again, I stated what I said. I put you on notice. And all of the people with disabilities heard that it's federal law. So just because you have the votes to get away with doing it, like you said, in Florida and Disney, they do it because they can do it. Let's not just do it because we can do it, because we have all 5 seats in one party, but let's be thoughtful in thinking about the process and how we get to what we get to. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? If you want to, please do. I think there's a bug on the wall in the room because I told all these guys not to speak during the meeting. Did I tell you not to speak? Okay, that's it on comments. So let's get to the vote.
So,
Okay.
Mike.
I'm sorry if I jumped you.
you ready? All right. Item number 6, a resolution authorizing establishing the Ocean Beach Park admittance fees for the 2026 season. Who will make a motion to move and introduce this item?
I will.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes.
Item number 7, a resolution to amend a prior resolution for the purchase of firewall units. Who will introduce and move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes.
Item number 8, a resolution authorizing the city manager to purchase dispatch equipment for the city's fire department through a Sourcewell contract. Who will move and introduce the adoption of this item?
I will.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes. I'm going to make a motion to block vote the rest of these.
So a motion to block vote, move, introduce number 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second?
I will.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
The city manager's personnel report has been filed by the city clerk. Who will make a motion to close the meeting?
I will.
I'll second it.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
President Finn?
Yes. Need the walk-up music, Anna. Thank you. Dale Greenstein? Okay. I'll second that. Linda Giles? Oh, okay. Roy Lester? I thought she said she was coming up. Yeah, right, yeah.
Lester, Long Beach. Just a quick thing on number 15 that I just saw. You have the zones as Zone A, B, C, and D, but you have the rates. It's zone, 1 zone, 2 zone, 3 zones, 4 zones.
I think the way it's described is if you're within one zone, you're charged that fee. If you need to go over 2 zones, you're charged another fee, and so on and so forth.
But
So there's-
okay, so that's what it means, to go through 4 different zones.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, the other day you had a meeting on, for the budget, at 9 o'clock in the morning, which, of course, you realize most people are working.
Including us.
It was originally scheduled for the 26th, I believe, Tuesday. Is that correct? Why was it canceled?
The notice required for piercing the tax cap needed 10-day notice. So the earliest we could do it was the 29th.
It was also the latest that we could do it.
Right, it was the
Yes.
earliest we
Right.
could do it, and the
So
latest
it was
we could
either
do it.
do it Friday morning or Friday night.
Well, Friday, why not, like, in the afternoon when people are off for work?
Well, because if there was work that needed to be done after the vote, that would be making people work late into the night. Right?
Well, you know what, you're here for the taxpayers, but regardless, okay.
You bet we are.
There was
We are
a-
here for the taxpayers. You can
Yeah.
say that again.
Yes. There was an errata sheet, but that wasn't given out before the meeting, correct?
No, that was part of the amended budget, which is given out at
But
that day.
It wasn't online. The errata sheet was not online till after the vote.
Is that?
I think traditionally, errata sheets have been introduced
at the
at
meeting, yeah.
that final meeting. But
No, they have not. They've been there before the vote, because they're supposed to be there before the vote, because that's what you're voting on. All right, I just wanted to make sure I had that right. And the last thing is on the flag case. When we were discussing it, February 17th, I was told, Dan, you said, you can't do anything until the city council votes on it. It's not a done deal until the city council votes on it. City council voted on it.
On what?
On the settlement.
What settlement?
The settlement for the flag case for $50,000.
It's not a done deal.
I
Yeah,
know that.
so we
But
had an
that-
agreement
But what
in-
I was told, I have the transcript, I was
We
told.
did not think he would change his commitment to us after the meeting,
Well-
Roy. So I can't determine what goes through someone else's head or why he changed his mind.
Hold on now. So it's an ongoing
ongoing,
case.
it's
So
yeah,
it's
I
an ongoing
wouldn't-
case.
I wouldn't really talk about it for that reason.
It wouldn't make sense for us to talk about it right here.
No, I'm questioning.
Right, but my
When-
answer
you know,
is
when
it
you
wouldn't
say
make
it's
sense
a
for us to
done
talk
deal,
about it from here.
It was not a done deal. It was not agreed to. So I'm kind of curious
It
why
would
you
not make
voted
sense
on
for me
it.
to talk about that at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And I think as an attorney, you know why.
I
hope
think-
you do.
Yeah,
Let
well.
me put it that
I
way.
think looking at the history, I think it might have been a good idea to look at the history prior to entering into an agreement. But we
Well,
don't do
if we're
that
going to go
here.
back into history, it might have been a good idea not to do what was done. But let's not go there. Let's not go there. You baited me, you got me.
All right, thanks.
James Hodge?
You know I wasn't there.
I
You miss me. I was out in the hallway.
had an informant. He called me. He told me you were out there.
I set it up out there.
You were,
Anyway.
you were next. You knew you were next.
I wasn't next. I had a lot of names before me. Anyway, James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street. You know, we just had the anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre, 1921, and, you know, I take a moment of silence. In honor of all of the lives that was lost, called it Black Wall Street. But it is critical that we look at the full picture. This wasn't just a thriving community of brilliant entrepreneurs, vibrant families, foundational neighborhood churches. It was a community that was systematically targeted, looted, and burned to the ground. Hundreds of innocent people were killed, beaten, and displaced, and their generational wealth, well, it was erased in a matter of hours. The truth is this history was deliberately left out of our school textbooks for decades. But Tulsa is not an isolated story. Across our nation history, there are multiple communities just like the Greenwood District, whose thriving legacies were cut short by racial violence and systematic destruction, and stories that have been buried and kept in the shadows for years, like hidden figures and all of these things we're just finding out. Truth is non-negotiable. Everyone's history matters, and all of it deserves to be told. Education is empowerment. We cannot heal what we refuse to look at. Preserving the legacy, honoring the past, ensuring that the resilience of these communities is never forgotten. Let's commit to doing our own research, reading books, telling the whole truth, saying nothing but the truth, and making sure these stories are passed down to the next generation. Again, these were people, black people, business owners in as many communities that was burnt down just because of the color of their skin. I know some people get tan. I can't get tan. My mother was real hot, and this is the color that I came out with, and I love it. And so I say to each and every one of you, let us continue to diversify the city. I came, and I was the only person here to speak. And going to the taxes, when the taxes was raised, the tax cap broke, and we pierced it, and we did that at 9 a.m. when we knew nobody was going to be here. And I know when I came through that door, Finn, you said, oh, hell, James is here. I saw you, and I saw your body language because I was the only resident to actually come.
No, you weren't.
And so I say, well, I was the only resident that was here. Everybody else was administrative or staff. I saw it. And so, again, I stood up here and I took off work for a portion of the day because I said that to do it at 9 o'clock in the morning, to talk about going up $5 million when the hourly part-time laborers are making $15 and people that's making hundreds of thousands of dollars are getting thousands of dollars more in raises is totally not fair. Again, thank you for your time. And I say to the city council, you're there on behalf of people voting for you. Speak up and speak out.
Eileen Hession. Love you too, James. I prayed for you this morning, as a matter of fact.
I got to know who you praying for.
I'm praying to Jesus.
Eileen Hession.
That's the truth.
Hey, James, my time. When you changed the 3-minute rule and also when you had that 9 a.m. meeting, it got me thinking.
We didn't do that at the same time.
I know that.
Okay.
I'm here every week, I know, every other week.
You missed a couple, and I put it in my attendance log.
Okay. But anyway, it got me thinking, and it doesn't seem to me that you're all that interested in what the residents have to say. You cut out the 3-minute per agenda item and allow 3 minutes total, even though there are often 10 to 14 items on the agenda. How can I comment on 14 items in 3 minutes? You are denying people the right to be heard and keeping the council from knowing how people think. But that's the point, I guess. A few hours every 2 weeks is really not too much to be in front of the residents. Every single vote since you took office has been yes from each member of the crowd. Every single, of the council, excuse me. Every single vote. There's seldom any real discussion, and the people's time to question has been removed. It's often obvious that some council members don't read the backup documents because they ask questions that are very clearly answered on the backups. The bar owners didn't even recuse themselves when the alcohol vote was taken. It's just vote yes, 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 yes. If you want to save time, you might want to have a block vote before the meeting even begins. You're looking for ways to hide things from the public, like your 9 a.m. meeting that few could attend with almost no advertising of it. You gave yourself a raise and said there were changes to the budget of over $3 million with lots more overtime payments. The errata sheet was not put up for several days. You are supposed to present the budget to the public, not an incomplete budget, and not at a meeting few could attend. Item 13, I'll skip. You ran for office saying you would be transparent, you wouldn't raise taxes, and you would do what's best for the people. But you don't care to know what the people think, and you're trying to keep us quiet. That's a big fail. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen O'Leary, or your AKA. I won't call you by your AKA.
Funny thing is, a doctor called me by the AKA. I hadn't seen her in a year, and she calls me Sheila, and I'm like, oh my God.
I have a friend
it's
with the same name, so.
Yeah,
okay.
you started?
Yeah.
Okay, Eileen put it much more eloquently than I will put it.
We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah, well, you can judge me. You know, we started this meeting talking about democracy. Since we stopped people from commenting on the individual items, I don't feel like it's democratic anymore. And frankly, I don't care about what other city councils do. I've seen them on TV on News 12. They do take questions after items, and it's really difficult to remember what you want to say on 14 different items. In terms of, I've noticed the yes stuff too. I've also noticed Mr. Fiamara, as soon as Good and Welfare starts, he splits. Sometimes for the whole session, sometimes just for part of it. I have no idea why. I'd like to know why. I do get this feeling that you don't want to hear from the public, but if you listen to the people that spoke tonight, they're so intelligent. You have former city council members, you have spouses of former city council members, you have doctors, and on and on. They have a lot of good points. You have lawyers and so forth. You know, this thing about, I know what you're doing, you're clearing the way to raise the fees on the beaches eventually, you're just putting in the structure. But I couldn't help thinking that it reminds me of Trump's executive resolutions going around the Congress and just saying, well, whatever, you know, many things that he does by resolution. When someone talked about it, I realized it was the same principle. So, you know, I don't know if this is possible, but maybe you want to give Good and Welfare 6 minutes instead of 3 minutes, or something, because this is not working for the people that elected you and the people that pay the bills. And that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you. Judy Vining.
Judy Vining, Long Beach. Okay, please bear with me. I'm going to try not to go over. I almost never write it, but
Start right now, and you'll probably make it.
Maybe. We'll see. But I'm going to try. You know, Long Beach Aware is not about punishment. It's about prevention, okay? And after, I think Eileen mentioned the vote on alcohol and who should recuse. We're not interested in that. The vote was taken. You guys were very clear that you don't want alcohol on the Ocean Beach Park, right? And that's why you made the definition where you did. What I think about has nothing to do with whether it should have, I believe it should have happened or not. It happened. So what are we going to do to mitigate what are possible problems that could arise, okay? And one of the things that came to mind for Long Beach Aware was that you know how the volleyball games, for example, we all know drinking goes on there, but because it's in a red cup, there's no way that the police can enforce that. You don't know what's in the cup, okay? So our thought was, since you have, what, I think 7 more days, 8 more days before you don't need to reply to the notice of application to the SLA for the vendors, maybe there's a simple solution that could be a win-win-win for everybody. We know we don't really want alcohol on the Ocean Beach Park, right? So how do we prevent it? What do you know what's in that cup, right? So maybe the way we prevent it in the future would be to have clear cups that says alcohol beverage. I don't know if that's possible now. But I do know that there are stickers that anybody can put on whatever vehicle they've got they've got their drink in, okay? Not anybody, the owners or the vendors. And so that when the police are doing their enforcement, it's very clear, this is an alcohol beverage. Because as people decide that they want to see the sunset that they can't see from the boardwalk anyway, they're going to walk across the Ocean Beach Park. So we researched it, and I have for you guys tonight 5,000 stickers that you can just put on. I mean, to me, it's a win. The vendors are not going to get in trouble. They're going to do their due diligence. For the city, it's a win. You're keeping alcohol off of the Ocean Beach Park. For the police department, it's a win because it makes it easily identifiable, not in order to arrest anybody, but at least to say, hey, you need to take it back over there inside the border. And I think it's a win for the city because you own the property. So we are prepared as an organization. I have 5,000 of these here for you tonight. And we are prepared to donate 30,000 stickers for this summer if you would accept it.
Okay, thank you. You want to say something?
Okay, so what do you think?
So I think it's a great idea. There are no concessions yet that we've approved to
Right.
sell alcohol. There
Is something
are
gonna blow up?
discussions
What's
that we
going
are
on?
having with one right now. There are several caveats that we're putting into the contract. One of them being that the alcohol can only be served in cups with the logo of the organization on it, so it could be checked that
Right,
we have
but if
that
it's
already.
a red cup, it can't be checked.
If it has the logo of the place, it cannot be used for anything but alcohol. If we see that logo make its way onto the boardwalk, then there's a problem. So it serves the exact same purpose as what you're saying with the sticker.
Would you like to
We'll
take a
still
look
take
at
the
these?
stickers if you want. We're doing that. They must have security. They must have a separate
No,
area.
I understand all the precautions you put in.
Okay,
And
no problem.
I'm just adding to it. What I'm saying is, it's easily identifiable. What do you have to lose? It seems to me like it's a win for everybody. And if it doesn't work, well then, as long as you wear throughout 30,000 stickers,
Okay.
But it might be a way of mitigating a lot of the stuff, and
Yeah.
we
Thank
could
you for the
see.
innovation. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Will you accept the stickers?
We did.
No, I meant, should we go ahead and order the 30,000?
I don't think you should order 30,000.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think.
Why not?
Who's ever serving alcohol is going to be really happy to hear your estimation, I'll tell you that.
Well,
They
you know what?
Like
Then
the-
they'll be good enough for next year.
Like the city manager said, the intent of having them use branded cups is so that we could identify where everything came from.
Understood, Greg, but
Right.
I'm not talking about identifying it. I'm talking about preventing it. So
we are
it's
too.
so easily visible that it's an alcoholic beverage. I mean, if you take any one of the vendors, if they even apply and get
We're
the
going
temporary.
to take care of it. We're going to take care of it.
So can you commit to doing this?
I think we've committed to doing it already, just because it's not the sticker. It's a branded cup that will only be used for alcohol, that serves the exact same purpose of what you're saying here. It's a cup that has the logo on it that can only be used for alcohol and
I
not for
understand.
soda. It's doing exactly what you're asking for here. I'm confused. Yeah, I don't know why they would put a sticker on if it already has a logo of it, and we're saying that that's the only cup that could be used to serve alcohol. It's serving the exact purpose that you're looking for. We've thought the exact same thing that you have, and we're trying to do the exact same thing.
Okay, so-
You're asking me to commit to using a sticker when we've already had the discussion. Yeah.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you.
I don't know what it hurts. I can't imagine why you would say no. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Ron Paganini.
Yes, thank you.
Evening, everybody.
Hi, Ron.
Whatever I say here is not personal. It's not personal. So, Ron Paganini, Long Beach. So I just want to compare last year, budget to this year's budget. So last year you stayed under the cap. It was tough, but you did it. You did the right thing. You were bombarded with overtime that was out of control, and it took you another year to, calm it down. I see that. But this year, it was much easier to stay under the cap. This year was easier. Well, I got some facts here. I got a little facts here. So I say this year's overtime was cut. I don't know how much, but it was cut enough. Would help. The beach made $600,000 extra on ticket sales, right? And it was a major position that was eliminated, and that person was worth $300,000 you don't have to pay. That helped. And there were many cuts made in CSEA departments, right? And the city wants, at this time, from what I heard lately, to consolidate many CSEA departments, okay? That would be a savings on more savings. So basically what I'm saying is this here. Plus we have $18 million in the contingency fund, around there, right? So what gets me is this. The main thing I always say is to stay under the cap, because you still need that 2% to pay for salaries. I mean, that makes sense. So what does the city do? So they go over the state cap, right, and give many exempts, maybe they deserved it or not, high raises, and the people ain't having it. And let me tell you something. I had many phone calls on this thing. So tell me, how could you go over the cap when raises for the exempts is not mandated like the unions? That's collective bargaining. I think you made a big mistake. Maybe you deserved them. I'm not saying you didn't, or whatever. But it doesn't look good by doing that. You could have just said, hey, we're cutting here, we're cutting there, and doing the best we can. I'm sorry, guys, maybe next year we can get our raises. And I think you failed in that way. And I'm just speaking common sense. You know what I mean? You can't do nothing about it now, but, I always told you 2 years ago, 3 strikes and you're out. You can do a million things, great things, and you have been doing great things. You have been. But this wasn't one of the greatest things you did. So, like I said, it's not personal, but it stinks. But I still love you. That's besides the point. Bye.
Lucy Santino. Thank you, Ron. The love is real. You didn't even thank us about the dogs. Fireworks, yeah.
Lucy Centeno, 225 West Park Avenue. On Sunday morning, I went to church, and for some reason, I took a different route, and I went by my daughter's house. And I'm coming down Reverend J.J. Evans Boulevard, going south from Fulton, from East Fulton Street. As I'm coming down the street, at 11:30 in the morning, there's a young woman that's walking north. She's going to go to Christian Light Church. She fell, she tripped on a broken curb cut on Hudson and Reverend J.J. Evans. She fell so bad that I and another person went to help her, and her knee, the top of her knee was in her thigh, and the bottom of her knee was in her tibia. She had this big, deep crevice. She had dislocated her knee. I called the ambulance, they came, and they looked at it, and the guy goes, "Oh, geez, I've never seen anything like that." I've been around Long Beach for many, many years. Curb cuts, they were improved, they weren't improved, whatever. Now they stink. The only ones that really work are the ones on Broadway where the condominiums are. Down Magnolia, you've got a deep crevice on each side of the streets, okay, in the street. So that if you're in an electric wheelchair like I do, and you're riding in the street, if you're not careful, you're going to go into that dip and tip over. I complained several times about the curb cut right here on National and Park because it's broken. I complained again about the Long Island Rail, where the buses are, the street there, it's all broken and the curb cuts are terrible. The curb cut across from Starbucks, that's off the corner of Capital One. I went face first in my other chair into the street when an N15 bus was coming. And I was strapped into my chair, and a couple just happened to be there to help me. These curb cuts need to be addressed, and the street conditions need to be addressed. I'm not the only one in a chair. People that are pushing manual chairs have a lot of problems also. Another thing that we have a problem with is when they're talking about the bikes on Park Avenue, yes. The biggest problem is Geno's. That glass thing that sticks out of their storefront, and they've got tables next to it, that's fine. But that glass thing there and maybe 10, 15 bikes that are all wired up to the poles and stuff, it's impossible for us to get through.
Right.
So please do something about the curb cuts,
Okay.
the broken streets,
Thank you.
and the way that we can get through Park Avenue.
Thank you. Okay. We will. So I'd just like to make a comment, because your comments don't fall on deaf ears, and that is what we're up here for. We're up here to hear what you have to say, anyone in the city. One of the problems was that people don't come to these meetings because they're so long. This one, we're in our 2.5 hours. We'll probably get close to 3 hours. It's not a big deal for me to sit here for 3 hours or 4 hours, but people don't come because of that. They don't want to see the theater. They don't want to see the drama. People tell me this all the time. So one of the reasons why, and I said this previously, why we moved to the format that every other municipality uses is because we're trying to streamline, in a way, the commentary so that everybody can comment and you don't go home at midnight or you go home at 11:30. I mean, we had a lot of items on the agenda tonight. If everyone got up to speak during that comment period, we'd probably be here till midnight, and we have been here midnight before. So I don't mind working. I know none of these people mind working either. We discussed it. When you talk about we all vote yes, the agenda is made up by the city manager with the corporation council and the people who work in the city, the controller, DPW, the police, recreation. They tell the city manager what we need, what we have to do, and why we have to do it. The city manager knows what our vision of Long Beach is, what is primary to us. What's primary to us is the taxpayer. What's primary to us is to keep the taxes down, right? To create revenue and to cut taxes if we can. So the city manager puts the agenda together so that we will have an agenda that we think is good for the city every 2 weeks. So yes, we vote yes almost all the time, and if it doesn't make to the agenda, that's pretty much why. Either it gets tweaked, fixed, or cast aside. The items, we don't take people's right to speak away. We just need to make it more palatable to the rest of the community to come down here. And it's great to see a crowd here tonight. That's what it's about. We get this, everyone gets to speak, everyone gets to comment. Everyone gets to say what's on their mind. And everyone got a chance to do that tonight. We are about the taxpayers. We are about trying to keep the taxes down, right? Zero tax increase our first year. We were below the cap the second year. This year, we had some insurmountable increases. One of them was health insurance, okay? The other one is, if you look at the cost of living, we kept our tax increase below the cost of living increase. Anyway, I just wanted to respond to that. I appreciate everybody coming down. We are going to continue to do what we're trying to do, and that's take care of the taxpayers. You guys have a great night. Please arrive home safely.